Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Peter, as many of you know. Before I begin these interviews, I want you to keep one thing in mind. While many of you might find this entertaining, as I hope you will, the message I am trying to relay to you is you have a long life ahead of you, and just like you wouldn't cross a busy highway on foot during mid-morning traffic, don't enter other uncharted territory without first taking the proper precautionary methods so you don't leave with something you didn't initially come with. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome my guest speaker today. Her name is Eileen, and she has her opening debut at the end of May called Summer is Finally Here. Please give her a warm welcome. Welcome, Eileen.
Thank you, Peter. I am so happy to be here.
Eileen, before I begin asking you some very private questions that I am sure all of your fans are dying to know, I would like you to hear a few interviews I have done with others out in the field.
This sounds interesting. I'm excited to hear what other people say.
Well, Eileen, the first person I interviewed is Tiffany. She's a famous actress. Without giving any further information away, listen to this. So I'm going to read you a question, and you give me your honest answer.
Okay.
An absolute stunning young man, dark hair, 6'1", with a fantastic shape, approached you after 20 minutes at a friend's party. You noticed him immediately upon arriving to the party. It seemed like all the girls at the party were flirting with him, but he didn't seem interested as he was talking with another male friend who you knew well. He came up to you and asked you to dance. You danced with him, and after 10 minutes, you were fascinated with the conversation and his story, how he moved to New York City after spending 3 years in Africa working with a non-governmental organization dealing with abused children. He told you he went to school for psychology and got his PhD in the same field and is now working at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital with abused children in the psychiatric division. It became so loud at the party, he asked you to go to a coffee shop around the corner to talk. This leads to a beautiful walk, and you hold hands. He kisses you, and you feel very secure. He invites you to his apartment to continue the conversation. Would you go?
No.
Why?
I wouldn't go because I don't know him that well. I mean, words are just words. He could be making everything up, you know? But I have to get to know him better in order to go to his place.
Okay, great. Did you ever have unprotected sex?
No.
Do you know what HIV stands for?
No, I don't.
But you know what it is?
Yes.
And do you know what AIDS stands for?
Also no.
Okay. What would you do if you found out you contracted HIV/AIDS?
Oh, man. I think I would just... First off, I would be crying.
Right.
And then afterwards, I would try to figure out what to do with my life and how to treat this thing.
So tell me, Eileen, what do you think about the interview with Tiffany? Do you think she was honest? It's a hard question. It's a hard answer. What do you think?
I will tell you this much. This girl is boring.
Eileen. Next up is Mitch. He's also an actor and has starred in numerous Dunkin' Donuts commercials. He's a laugh a minute. Listen to this. Hi, Mitch.
Hi, Pete.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I just want you to give me your honest answer. That's all I'm looking for.
You got it.
Could you do that?
I can.
You promise?
I will do my best.
Okay. So here's the scenario. You're at a party, okay? And a drop-dead gorgeous 28-year-old woman approaches you at a friend's party. Everyone spoke so highly of her, and she really seemed to have her act together. a master's degree in law, a job with a large public law firm, her own apartment on 2nd Avenue and 67th Street in New York City. Hobbies include mountain biking and jogging. And she asked you to leave the party and go to her apartment and make love to her. Now, I know you're married, but this is before you were married. So we'll go back in time, obviously, because you would never be unfaithful, correct?
Correct.
So, she asked you to leave the party and go to her apartment and make love to her. Would you do it?
Absolutely.
Now, you get to her apartment, and you don't have any protection, but she tells you she's on birth control, and you need not worry. She seems healthy by her appearance, and people speak highly of her, and you know people her. Would you engage in sexual behavior with her anyway?
No.
You wouldn't?
Not enough. Nope. Not a chance.
Why?
Because I wouldn't trust that she's clean.
Okay.
I wouldn't take a risk for myself. I wouldn't jeopardize my own self.
I respect that. Did you ever have unprotected sex?
Yes.
Do you remember how many times?
A couple.
Do you know what HIV stands for? You know what it is?
Of course.
Okay. And do you know what AIDS stands for?
Yes.
What does it stand for?
What is it? Autoimmune deficiency syndrome.
Very good. What would you do if you found out you contracted HIV/AIDS?
I'd be concerned. I'd see a doctor, and I'd figure out how to try to get healthy.
Well, I thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
So, Eileen, what did you think of Mitch?
He sounds like he took some chances. But I respect his honesty.
Well, Eileen, now it's your turn. Are you ready?
Peter, give it to me.
So you're at a party with a bunch of friends, and there's this really good-looking guy at the party. You're single, and he's looking at you, and all the girls are flirting with him, but he's not interested because he's talking with another friend of his that's a guy. About 10 minutes go by, and next thing you know, somebody taps you on the shoulder and asks you to dance with them. You dance with him, and you're having a great time. And he's really good looking and everything you would expect in a man, a gentleman, and he asks you to continue the conversation at a coffee shop around the corner from where you are. You go with him, you have coffee, you have a great time, and he asks you if you would come back to his apartment and hang out. You decide, okay, I know you know my friends, so I'm comfortable with that. And while you're there, you start kissing him. And then he asks you to have sex with him. Would you have sex with him?
Most likely, yes.
He doesn't have any protection, but you're on birth control. Would you have sex with him still if he told you he was clean and he didn't have any diseases?
Most likely, yes.
So can you tell me, what does HIV stand for?
Human immune deficiency syndrome? Virus.
Right. Right. And what does AIDS stand for?
Autoimmune deficiency syndrome.
What would you do if you found out you had HIV/AIDS?
I wouldn't know what to do. I'd probably break down.
Eileen, before we end the show today, are there any comments you'd like to say to your fans out there that are listening?
Yes, I would. I would like to first say thank you for having me on your show. I would also like to say I have been very lucky in the past and I am not taking any more chances. I would no longer have intercourse unless the man I am with uses a condom. I also like the idea of using a female condom. It adds to the foreplay. Not only is it smart, but I can have fun without worrying. I encourage all my fans and viewers to do the same. In and out is much more fun when you do it the right way.
Well, first let me thank my special guest Eileen for appearing on my show, and good luck with your opening debut in May. For all my guests and listeners, think about this. By the end of 2013, there will have been 30 million people who have died from AIDS. This message needs to reach society throughout the world, and if everyone does their part, together we can make a difference. Please, I beg you, not to avoid this topic. It's far too important. And it isn't the way we were meant to die. Safe sex, learn about it, practice it, and pass the message on. Thank you.